Perfect. All right. They were chatting Kiwi about wokeness or something. I don't know. Find out. It's gonna be dank memes. That's for damn sure. Anyway, hi Peach. Oh, how the turns have tables have turned. Wow. This is the part where you asked me for feed pics. What Alexander? Not receiving a video to maintain buffer. I didn't put feet in my YouTube tag. Mistakes were made. Yes, yes. I'm the one with the not weird pinky toe. Oh, that might be me. I'm leaning away from the mic way too much. And I have all of the filters on, so it's cutting out. Maybe that'll be better. Tariff filters. Tariff makeup. All right, here he is. Well, hello. Uh-oh.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, okay, I may have sounded harsh, but you were. Uh, we don't even need to go into a big discussion about Western politics because by my values are conservative. I don't identify with the conservative right because I don't think they're very conservative. The thing is, every point I brought up, you were spazzing out, and so what do you want to even comment on? Because the simple question that I chimed in on, because I came in later to that debate than the rest of you guys, was is Trump good for Western society? And I just said he's better than what we have had in America.
Sure. So, like, by what metric are you measuring that? I guess.
Yeah, better than Bush, better than Obama, better than Biden by a long shot. Now you can say that that is a low bar, but
Well, sure, but like better
when it
how?
comes,
Like what is better
okay,
about it?
well, I'm go- okay. Well, okay, I'm going to time myself here. Um, I'll give you like 30 seconds on the other administrations. I mean, Biden was completely anti-West, and like his entire plan was pretty much to destroy America, and he was doing that, and now Trump is trying to undo all of the stuff he did. Obama wasn't quite that bad, but he was a socialist who just brought in all of these horrible rules and set a terrible example for the rest of the world. And Bush, his entire legacy is the Iraq War, well, the war on terror in general. So anything that he attempted to do was overshadowed by the fact that he launched two disastrous wars. You would agree with that? Like nobody remembers Bush for anything other than the Iraq War.
Uh, I mean, he also kind of precipitated the housing crisis, but you know,
Well, world was so different back then, but Iraq, like the war on terror, overshadowed everything he did. Like, so I don't even really count what the Bushes really did pre 9/11 because again, it was all overshadowed by everything that came after that.
but yeah,
So
no, it was his
that is
like
why I say,
the pushing of his housing policies near the end of his second term that precipitated the 2008 housing crisis and contributed to the that global recession.
all right, well, another thing that Bush actually ran on to try and uh, just stand out from Al Gore, who I also think would have been awful, was gay marriage, which led to a slippery slope of where we're at now. So Trump, yeah, he's not nearly conservative enough for my liking, but I feel that he's doing, again, to keep it all short, I feel he's doing better than those guys.
Okay, so I guess when you say Obama is a socialist, like what is that? Like he wanted to
Well,
make take the means of productions and make them publicly owned, or like what?
I'm not getting too much into okay, that kind of stuff is what all governments do because all governments are authoritarian. They're going to do things for their or like they all bail out the big banks, for example. Like Trump just ended up repeating what Obama did. They all support big pharma and all that shit. But okay, what did Obama do that was a socialist? He completely neglected uh, about schooling, like what was best for the schools, what was best for the youth. And by the way, Biden, all the stuff I'm going to mention, Biden accelerated it. Biden was like Obama on steroids. He accelerated every disastrous foreign policy that Bush started, and he even pushed for more foreign intervention. Um, he didn't do what he should have done on the border. He brought in all of these extra taxes that have slowly cut down the middle class. Now, I think I have a big, I think there's a big problem, and I'm learning this myself. I think there's a big problem with people in general, my age, not working as hard as they should. So people should be earning more money, but Obama introduced so many policies, especially with taxes. Like there's this interaction he had with a plumber who said, "Look, I'm about to be earning more money because I've worked hard for it, but it's really going to mean nothing because of the extra taxes that you have brought in." So, so you asked, what do I mean when I said Obama is a socialist? There's some of the major examples.
Okay, so I guess I don't know. The first two I would say aren't socialist. Like I don't know, like neglecting school isn't a socialist policy, I guess. And accelerating bad foreign policy is also not socialist. Um, I guess like extra taxes. You know, we could file that under socialism if we define socialism as the government doing stuff. But I mean, I guess are like all taxes socialism too? Uh,
Well, adding the amount of taxes that he did does. Now, I'm not here to. Okay, you asked me about Trump. I didn't even really get on to him. What Trump's doing, I already. These are the examples I mentioned in the debate. He's he's enforcing border laws. He's getting rid of illegal immigrants. He needs to get rid of them quicker, but he's still enforcing that to where the media is trying to destroy him for it. And since that debate, we've seen a judge get arrested because the judge was trying to block what Trump is doing.
well,
He
so Trump is also like trying to deport, you know, like lawful residents, like lawful permanent residents and visa holders. Like, you know, like he's trying to revoke visas for like silly crimes too, right? It's not just illegals that he's trying to get rid of. It's, you know,
yeah, and
non-citizens.
this I believe, yeah, you're talking about the ones who are critical of Israel.
Um, yeah, or I guess more more
Yeah,
pro-Palestine
I'm not
people,
in
but
favor. Yeah, I'm not in favor of that. Trump is definitely curtailing to his Israeli donors a lot. But Gumby, again, he's not perfect. I've got plenty of issues with him. But in terms of you are okay, the question of that debate is I like to stick to the facts.
mhm.
The question of that debate is he dangerous to American society? And I say absolutely not. He's enforcing the border to try and protect Americans. He's doing stuff to try and end foreign policy. And by the way, some of his administration in his first run did work against him to try it. Like he tried multiple times to pull troops out of Syria, which again it's better for Americans to not be involved in stupid foreign wars. He at least didn't start any new wars. He did try to end the Syria conflict by pulling troops out, and the
Well, he also
Dragoon
increased
generals.
drone strikes there a lot, right? And then also got rid of all the transparency that we had about drone strikes there too, right? Like Trump did more drone strikes in the first 2 years than Obama did in his entire 2 terms in Syria. You know that, right?
Yes, I do know about that.
Okay. So like when you say like,
But
oh,
again,
he's trying to like, remove troops, and it's like, okay, but he's still escalating the conflict, right?
if he had been able to pull troops out, it would have been better for like American intervention. Pretty much would have ended. Now, who wanted to keep it going was the same people who wanted Assad gone, and it was Biden's fueling of ISIS that eventually allowed Bashar al-Assad to be overthrown just before he left office. So just again, I'm not debating whether Trump is perfect. I'm talking about he is better for Americans, for American society. In fact, instead of me maybe defending this point, because I've given you reasons as to why I say he is, why should you? Why are you so against that?
Well, because I think he's wiping his ass with the Constitution. He doesn't give a fuck about any civil liberties. He's just deporting people all willy nilly, like under the guise of like fixing America. The global tariffs are absolutely fucking insane, and I'm very excited for the empty shelves that are going to be hitting Americans in the next like week or so. Yeah, I mean, he's attacking freedom of speech. He paints the media as the enemy of the people. He calls them all liars and like is constantly attacking them. He like the biggest piece of gun control legislation was passed under him under his first term. He's cutting programs that he's not allowed to cut and is going to severely fuck up the world. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's a handful of things that I think are an
Okay, well, I
issue.
can answer some of those. Okay, well, I can answer some of those. The tariffs, like, I'm not an economist, so I'm not proven to be an expert. And when Trump initiated heavy tariffs at first immediately, then he backtracked and lowered them. Some of the hardcore Trumpers in the media, like Benny Johnson, you know who that is, right? Benny Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. The Russian asset.
He was well, actually, you know what's funny? I was debating some. I run a combat sports channel, so I don't talk about politics. But one of the panels I was on, they were talking about foreign interventions, and I was talking about why the mainstream, for the first time ever, is actually right about this Russian shit. And like, I'm very much pro what the Ukrainians are doing. And I was actually going to say that you were a Russian asset, but you've just okay. I was wrong there. Yeah, Benny Johnson's just a grifter. So Benny Johnson was, and others like Tommy Lahren, who I think is an absolute buffoon, was just making excuses for Trump. The reality is Trump did overstep his boundaries, so he's rolled them back. I'm not listen. I see prices increasing here in New Zealand, but in terms of options, Trump. I mean, okay, Trump is trying to make drastic changes. Now, so again, tariffs. I'm not defending him jumping in all guns blazing and then backtracking. He did that because he got too excited, and it was overstepping his boundaries. You talked about how he's trying to cut programs that he shouldn't cut. I
No, that he's not
supported,
allowed to
in fact,
cut.
I still support, like the Department of Education, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the shuttering of U.S. aid entirely, like I would say, is the most egregious example of that.
Well, the US aid. Okay, we can talk about the real. Like I mentioned him talking about no longer supporting Ukraine. I actually don't support that because I don't want Vladimir Putin to get his way. I feel for the Ukrainian people, so I don't support that. But in terms of okay, him trying to cut back on foreign aid, the reason why he's at least talking about doing this and has tried to do it is because he wants to reduce the debt for America.
Well, no,
So
he doesn't.
it
I mean,
does
he
have
doesn't
its
give a fuck about
benefits.
that, right? Like, like he's trying to push through that Tax Cuts and Job Act. Like that's going to like undo all of the stuff that he's trying or that Doge allegedly did. All of these tariffs are going to disproportionately hit our farmers. I don't know if you know, during his first term, he had ended up as a result of his tariffs handed out $48 billion worth of subsidies to farmers because other countries stopped buying like our stuff. So yeah, like I mean, even with the best like analysis of what Doge is doing, like all of that is going to be a loss given the increase in defense spending they want for all these immigrant detention facilities, all of the subsidies they're going to have to give out to the farmers. Like he doesn't give a fuck about cutting the debt or lowering the deficit at all whatsoever. Like he deficit spent like crazy during his first term, like more than anyone ever has in a booming economy, like way before COVID. Like he was running record deficits. So like what?
Yeah, he did. And I don't like that at all. I do
No, I
believe in
understand that you don't like
sorry,
that.
I
But when you
do,
say that like he wants to cut the deficit and then he does the exact opposite, you understand where I'm like, that's not that's not how that
and
works.
I understand where you're I understand where you're pushing back from, but okay, you asked me when I jumped in. You said okay. You basically asked for proof, and I gave you proof, talking about Bush, Obama, what we've had recently, Bush, Obama, and Biden, and okay, we can okay. Um, just so I'm thinking of how I can summarize this, Bush, because he launched a war on terror, and that again became all he cared about. That is what started this big this deep spiral into the crazy deficit that the US is in. Then we had the latest depression, which Obama oversaw. He he is the one. He's the one who started borrowing like crazy, and again starting all of the social programs, and again introducing more taxes and stuff like that. Plus, he escalated. He increased foreign. He increased the military budget drastically by increasing foreign intervention. Trump at least didn't start any new intervention. Yes, he borrowed like a drunken sailor during his first administration. I don't support that, but what I do support him doing is, and I've already mentioned, Biden is like Obama on steroids because he's got no eye, because he's got no brain between his ears. So he's just he was just doing what Obama did, but with even less care. So with Trump, he's at least looking to make changes, and these changes, okay. I'm not saying that they benefit the American people entirely. I mean, I don't think any president is going to benefit the American people entirely. Like even the ones who in history who I think stand out better have done plenty of bad, of course, in their careers. But Trump, I'm just talking about he's doing better, and doing things like cutting the Department of Education. Gave examples of how the Department of Education like ruins is like poison for the children. So getting rid of that is a good thing.
Yeah, but you are for him like holding federal funds hostage as he dictates the curriculum at our universities across the nation, right? Like that's not poisoning the kids, right?
Well, okay. In terms of the Israel thing, saying that you can't criticize Israel, I actually wish he would be more authoritarian on this. I wish he would say, look, if you're going to if you're going to talk about death to America, etc., you should yours. If schools are going to allow people to say death to America, because that means like death to white people, that's really what it means.
Oh, that means
Then
death to
I
American and like Americans. Like I don't know why you're saying it's death to white people.
well, it can mean both. I don't want people to be chanting death to anything. I mean, we just recently had Anzac Day in America, excuse me, in New Zealand, and there are idiots going around painting, or not painting. They're actually pouring. I don't know if it's it looks like real blood into fountains to protest the what's going on in Gaza. And I say to these idiots, same things I say to the climate activists. I say you're just you're hurting your own nation. Is not going to help anybody.
Yeah, sure.
So
And like
okay, whether
I don't really know what the free
I
speech
don't
laws
so
are in New Zealand, but like I live in America. I think you should be able to have a fucking neo-Nazi rally and shout death to America or death to the blacks or whatever racial slurs you want to
yeah,
say. Like
okay,
that's, you know,
okay. Well, here's the okay. So I don't like okay. I don't. If anything, I wish Trump would say. I wish Trump would cut back funding from schools because they are allowing people to chant death to America. I would prefer that. The fact that he's cutting back on school, you are talking about the Israel thing, right? That he's pretty much cutting to Israel.
yeah, that he started an anti-Semitism task force that's going into
Yeah.
schools with like
Okay.
no
This
oversight.
I do. This okay. This I don't like. But the thing is, but none of this is stuff that the Biden administration wasn't doing. So, I while I don't like what Trump's doing, I do like that he's anti woke agenda, like the LGBTQ, the transgender agenda. The fact that he signed something into law preventing transers from competing in female sports. I love that.
I'm sure you do.
Take the good with the
Sure
bad is
you
what I'm
have
saying.
no background in like biology to substantiate those claims, but sure.
What did I say? That's wrong. He signed it. He signed something into law, bringing in Peyton McNabb to, as an example, saying that transes can't compete in female sports.
For
So
sure.
what's
Yeah.
this whole
Okay.
talk
Okay.
about biology?
So you don't like that we accept gay people or trans people, and you want to. Okay. So you don't like
Be
that.
what? Okay, you should
That's
be.
like a
Put it
huge
this way:
fan.
you should be. Okay, you should be able to. You should be whatever you want. I believe in freedom of choice, but the reason why I bring up the Biden administration, the Biden administration was pushing that. It was
How are they
pushing
pushing
the
it?
gay agenda.
How is the
They were
Biden
pushing it
administration
by
specifically like not like don't yeah like how was the Biden administration specifically pushing the gay agenda?
was he was saying things that was he was saying things like anti uh, anti the current system that we have. He was saying he was asked questions about are there too many straight white people and or actually straight people in general, won't even use white or black people in high level positions, and he was saying yes. So in other words, giving the media, and we can get onto the media in a second because I'm not in
Okay,
favor
okay. So
of
so again, so like Biden maybe said some stuff that was maybe a little bit too woke for you. It was like, oh, maybe we should include some gay people so that they're represented in our government. But he did not issue like any policies that were like doing conversion
no,
therapy
he
to
just
convert
let the
straight
school. Well,
people
no,
to
he just
gay.
let the school. He just let the school. Okay, if you're asking about what he did, he just let the schools do it. I mean, in the schools are basically they're built for the gay agenda, pretty
Okay,
much.
so the Biden administration like like did something by doing nothing. Is that like
The Biden administration allowed that, and Biden
yeah yeah?
routinely said things that was.
There's
I'm
a difference
answering your question.
between or well no you're kind of like trying to slip around it like you're not saying the Biden administration did anything specifically to promote this, they just didn't stop it from happening.
Well, he did both. Okay, he didn't sign an executive order that said, okay, we need to get gay people into positions, etc. But there's a some you can he basically did it by omission. By one, he didn't push back on it. Two, he would routinely say things that was anti-straight males, saying that like we need to diversity is our strength. All of this stuff. It's like you wanted me deported last time we didn't really talk. You just spazzed out. You said you wanted when Ocasio Cortez is president, which if that happens, that's the death of America. You wanted me deported. Ocasio Cortez has routinely made statements about she's actually just more open with it because she's more dumb than Biden about how Congress is too white. There's too many males in high ranking positions, and Biden, who's a straight white male, does he does that he just does it more behind the scenes, but he didn't push back on any of this. Why did he bring Kamala Harris, a completely brain dead idiot, into as his running mate? So just because he did a you actually do need to look at the results of
Well,
what happened, and the
yeah, no,
results
I
is
am looking at the results and I'm seeing Trump who's trying to consolidate power in the executive to do all the authoritarian bullshit that he wants. Like he's just declaring he's declared more national emergencies in his first 100 days than any other president by like 2 or 3x in order to,
yeah. Well, let's
enact
look at
all of
those
these fucking
emergencies.
policies, which is
Okay,
yeah,
which
no, they're all
emergencies do you have a
bullshit.
problem with?
Like literally all of them, like calling what's happening at
Same food.
so his tariffs on Canada, the basis of that was saying that there was a crisis at the Canadian border because fentanyl.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just like
yeah.
not true.
Okay, well, fentanyl is a problem coming into the United
Yes,
States. Now, it's bigger.
sure,
I don't live in the States, but I
sure.
believe it's
Okay,
a
so
bigger
like what
problem on the
percentage of
southern
fentanyl
border.
do you think is coming
That
through Canada?
I believe more of it's coming through the southern border. So, okay, if you're saying, well,
Sure. So
you
he's
just
declaring
I
a
mentioned the
national
tariffs.
emergency for literally no
Well,
reason for like
I was
with no
answering the
basis.
question. I was answering the question. I said earlier, I'm not making excuses for him going too high on the tariffs. So, you
No, it's
bringing
not
up the
going too
tariffs is
high.
actually
Tariffs are not an exact like he's not allowed to just do economic policy on his own. That's not how our government is structured.
yeah.
Like Congress holds the
Now,
strings of the purse, right? I know you don't live here, or and so maybe you don't have the same like foundational principles that I do, but like Congress is the one who decides like what money goes where, not the president. Like he's not allowed to just be like, well, we're not spending money on this program anymore. Like that's just not a power that he has. Like that's illegal. That's unconstitutional. Um, like what? Like and that's like not okay. Like Biden didn't do anything that was like in direct violation of the Constitution that were attacking people's like civil liberties and freedom of speech. Maybe you didn't like his platform, sure, but he didn't. He wasn't breaking the law and then ignoring judges who told him he was breaking the law and having his administration being held in contempt of court for not following their orders. Like again, like when I think of what America stands for, like it's like it's a good amount of our Constitution, of all of our civil liberties, of our freedoms, and Trump has done nothing but attack those. And you think that's the most American thing in the world?
Well, okay. If we're gonna talk about Biden because you've just defended him multiple times, Biden. Okay, I'm just gonna name you three quick things. In the first, okay, first thing he said this on the campaign trail. This is on YouTube. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. He said, "I would immediately tell those people to search the border." Now, I don't even need to go into. I don't even need to go into how water is wet because the Biden administration tried to destroy America by opening the border, and that's exactly what they did. So I won't. So we'll just leave that one alone. That's just one example. Second one, he said multiple times there is a systemic racist problem with white people in America, saying that white racism was the most dangerous thing in America. So so okay, why do I have such a problem with people saying that Trump is anti-American? The last man who held the fucking office was saying openly, "I'm anti the current system that we have. I'm anti the people." So I don't see how you get more anti-American than that. And thirdly, when Hamas attacked Israel and when Putin invaded Ukraine, he immediately signed executive orders saying spend, 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 like give aid, give aid, give aid. And I'm okay. He's Every president has
So
pretty much
again,
kowtowed to Israel.
none of the stuff you just
Hold on,
listed
hold on.
off.
Can I finish the point? Can I finish the point?
Yeah, go for it.
Every American president has carteled to Israel, including Trump. So I'm not going to bash Biden too much there. With the Ukraine thing, I agree with what he's doing there because the Ukrainians are under attack and they're being genocided by Putin. But again, talking about being anti-American, he was repeatedly talking about helping these people more than he was helping Americans. So talking
No,
about the argument of anti-American, that's anti-American.
okay, so under Biden, he passed the American Rescue Plan, which delivered like the COVID stimulus. He passed bipartisan infrastructure bills that Trump is now trying to take credit for. He passed the CHIPS Act that would help with national security, like at home. He tried to pass a border bill, but Trump made sure that got shot down because that
Oh
was
my
his
God, we're
whole
not going
fucking
into
campaign.
that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. The
Not going
Langford
into
bill was a decent step in the right direction of reforming our asylum process, which is the number one like issue when it comes to illegal immigration.
Seriously, if I'm going to embarrass you, I need to embarrass you on things that are actually a challenge. Like, don't need to, don't give me a
Yeah,
layup like
okay,
that,
so I
please.
understand you don't like the idea of Congress passing laws and like coming to some sort of agreement on how we do things. You just want like one dude in charge of everything from the top down to change the culture, to do whatever fucking laws he wants, to
Um,
enact whatever fucking policies he
um,
wants. Like that like
um,
no, I okay, tell me how I'm wrong. You're like, "Oh, he's not perfect, but
well,
like I like, the fact that he's using powers he's not supposed to have and ignoring the checks and balances that we have built into our system." Like what?
okay, well, a couple of things. Again, seriously, I don't even want to. The thing about the border is that it's such a big issue, but it's so black and white. Like, I don't want to embarrass you on a layup like that.
What the
But
fuck do you mean it's so
okay,
black
the
and
border
white?
is.
Do you understand that
But
the largest source of
I just gave you. Look, I want to at least. I said I was going to make you regret insulting me the way you did the first time. So I'm going to, but I don't want to do it on just one issue. I'm doing it on the foreign aid thing, the border thing, the education thing, and also Trump. Again, he doesn't. While he gives out speeches and he's okay, he's being very harsh on people who are anti-Israel. I wish he was more harsh on people who are anti-American. But he's getting rid of illegal immigrants who are anti-American. These people are blatantly have no respect for America. They've come into America illegally. They were given a carte blanche by free gift by the imbecile who you're defending. So talking about being pro-American, he's pro-American because he's helping the people who are resident there, like you. He's getting rid of the people
Okay,
who came in illegally and are
so
hurting the
he's
system.
helping me by
But
like
again,
calling my side like weak and demons and all criminals, and like this is literally like this dude on Easter
okay,
is like
well,
posting like
okay,
messages
well,
about how all of us, all of me and my side are just weak and awful and terrible and are ruining this fucking country.
well, I think in general he's talking about how the left have routinely attacked him, hurting the country. And yeah, Trump. I wish Trump spent less time on social media, but he is also talking about. You do realize the protests that the leftists have done, which have hurt America, right?
Yeah, like January 6th,
Like
that
he's
was
talking.
like an Antifa like
Oh
psyop,
my
right?
god! Oh my god! Oh my god! We're not talking about that. Okay, I was talking about the protests, or the protests that people are bragging about and they're publicizing about in the
Okay, so
media.
when you
You can
say
ignore this as
people,
much as
so when you say people, you
hold
mean
on. I
people
barely
on
finished the
Twitter,
point.
right? Like you understand, like both Biden
No,
and
no,
Kamala.
no, no,
Okay,
no.
so Biden supported the
No, it is
riots, then,
no, no.
right?
Listen,
Is
let
that what
me.
you're
Okay, I
saying?
got to finish the point. I got to finish the point. I got to finish the point. The people protesting Tesla, the people attacking and keying Teslas in the street as some major form of protest because Elon Musk is the devil.
Who the
People
fuck
like
is
that.
defending that? Who? Okay,
Every
tell me what Democratic lawmaker is like publicly, supporting and endorsing that.
That's what. Okay, you asked the question. Why is Trump like attacking the left on Twitter over Easter? I mentioned that as an example because routinely the leftists hold Trump supporters as, and the media does this as well. They hold Trump supporters as villains, and that's how they're treating them. So I mean, just look at how the January 6th protesters were treated. Since you brought that up,
Yeah, so when they
that's
tried
why
to attack the Capitol to overturn the results of the
oh,
2020 election, like
don't
under
go.
the like on the order of the dude who lost, who still to this day claims that he did not lose.
Okay, Trump. All right, look, Trump again. You just why are you giving me layups like this to ruin you on? Like, at least give me a challenge, please. I don't.
Is that what you say when you don't have like a rebuttal to an argument or something?
Oh,
I don't
all
really know
right.
like
Look,
like
if
what
you
you
want
want
me,
from me
okay.
here.
No, this is too easy. This is too easy. It was not. It was not an attack. Okay, they went there. Okay, some people did. Some people committed vandalism. They were wrong. For the most
Uh
part,
huh.
they Trump said his own words: "Go there and protest peacefully."
Yeah, he also
Okay,
said you have to fight like
yeah,
hell. He also
hold
like
on, hold on. You had this is on video. This is what I'm saying. Don't give me layups
yeah, he
to
spoke for
destroy
an
you on.
hour. You understand that, right?
There is video of federal agents letting people into the Capitol.
You're
Like if
okay.
that's an attack, I mean
No, that's just like
that is
not
not
true.
an attack.
That's just not true. And again, like this is you're talking about the
This
dude
is on
who after
video.
Ashley Babbitt like was shot, like he was tweeting out they're like, "Oh, be nice to the police." And didn't say like, "Hey, y'all should get the fuck out now," because he was too busy calling Republican congresspeople to try to delay the certification of the vote so that he or to pressure Mike Pence into just choosing him as the victor.
And this has been debunked multiple times. You just said it was an attack. It was not an attack. The federal
It was
agents
an
let
attack.
them into the building.
Okay, so
The
there was no
federal agents
violence then. There
let.
was no violence on January 6th then.
No, I said earlier there was violence.
Well,
There
there
was
was
violence.
violence,
People
but like
did.
after, so okay, so they
But
were outside, they got let
hold
in,
on,
and then
but
they broke the windows
some,
out from the inside. Is that what happened?
some people were violent, and
Okay,
but
so
again,
some
I'm
people broke
emphasizing
in, and some
some.
people were just let in. Okay, okay, and we're gonna just round up to like, well, because some of them were let in, it wasn't actually that big of a deal.
It is not the deal that you're talking about because again,
The
they were let in
subversion of
by
the
the
will.
federal.
You people won't shut the fuck up about the public mandate that Trump has to do whatever the fuck he wants, and like you take umbrance with me like having an issue with him like trying to defy the will of the people. Like this guy's a fucking traitor.
Well, I'm Traitor. Okay, a traitor in what way? Let's get off January 6th because again, I don't have forever. So I tried to give you multiple examples talking about withdrawing foreign aid.
Yeah, you've
He's
tried to
doing
give
that
me
because he wants.
multiple examples, but they've all fallen flat. Like
No, you
I've
haven't answered
responded to
any of
you.
the
Okay,
other
listen.
one.
You can go back and listen to it, and like every time you brought something up, I was like, "Well, what about this?" And you're like, "Well, I don't really like that. He's not perfect, and but like at least he's doing stuff."
Well, no. Now you're trying to strawman. What? Yeah, this is how you spazzed out last when we were first debating. I brought up multiple examples, talking mostly about why killing the Department of Education is a good thing because of how bad that system is. Talking about the border, talking about
Sure. Does he have the
the
authority
about.
to cancel the Department of Education? Like, is that a power within the executive to just shut down a whole
Okay,
department?
okay.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
All right.
Is it is that a
Just so
constitutional
we're
power that
hold on,
he
hold on.
has
Just so we're on the same page. You call Trump a traitor because he's doing something this extreme, which
because
has to
he's
go through
doing
Congress. Correct?
unconstitutional
Correct?
things? Yes, because he's doing
Okay.
unconstitutional
I
things.
All right. Okay. Now I see where you're coming from. You're not going to like my answer because the Department of Education is so bad, mostly due to wokeism. That's just to try and summarize it. I like that he's doing this because the
Okay,
Department of
and that's
Education
fine.
is so
You can
good.
like it. You can like it as much as you want, dude. That just doesn't
But I
that
don't
doesn't
just
make it okay.
yeah.
You're talking about all
Okay.
this like corruption and bad shit and anti-American, and it's not it's none of those things. It's just stuff that you don't like. It's just
Oh,
policy.
exactly.
Like when
What?
you agree with the
Okay,
policy,
do
you
you
don't
think?
care if it's legal,
Okay. Do you
illegal,
think?
if it's constitutional or
Uh,
not.
well, okay. We're talking about a corrupt system for one, but two, I say it's a good thing because of because of the trans's agenda, because of the bias agenda. I mean, these agendas are not good for the youth to be learning. Do you agree?
I have no idea like what you're talking about really. Like when you say
So you just
like this
okay.
agenda, like
All right. Well,
what organization is pushing this top down agenda? Like what Department of Education documents can you show me that like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be pushing like the transness and the gayness and the queerness on all the fucking
are you
kids.
serious? Are you serious? You're asking me. You're asking me, is the system not pro-trans?
I mean, I think the system isn't anti-trans or shouldn't be anti-trans, but I don't think it's
Okay.
I don't think
See,
it's converting like cis kids to being trans because that just doesn't fucking work.
are you serious? That okay? You're in the states. Oh God, I'm halfway around the world, and I know more about your country than you
You don't
do.
know shit
There
about
are
my
there
country,
are
dog. Like what the fuck?
I do. I know more about your country than you
No,
do.
no, you
There are
don't. No, you don't.
schools.
You have whatever
But that,
narrative
look,
fucking
you
slop that's been
don't want to hear
shit
my
down your
answer.
throat
You
by
don't want to.
alternative
You
media
don't want to
because
hear.
you hate the
Don't
institutions.
want
You
to hear my
hate,
answer. You
you're
know
like
that
you're
I'm right. You know
pro-authoritarian when
that
it
I'm
suits
right.
you.
You know that I'm right. You know that I'm right,
No, I
and you don't
don't.
want to hear my answer. There are schools. There are schools that say that again. Okay, just listen to what I'm going to say, and try not to lose your head in the process. There are schools that allowed, not only allowed, but they encouraged kids. If you want to transition, you don't need your parents' consent. You do know that happened, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
And you're defending that? Are you crazy?
I'm not defending that.
Sorry, I'm losing my.
I'm not defending that.
Trump is
That's
trying
not what
to
I'm fucking
roll
defending.
that.
No. Trump is
No, no,
trying to
Trump,
outlaw
Trump is,
transness in general.
and that's a good thing because
Yeah, no.
because the
And
transit
see,
system.
you think so. You think so because you think it's
All right,
woke and it's a mind virus and it's
all right,
destroying the West.
all right. It is. It is.
Yeah,
It
no, I
is. Are you?
like
Are
you
you?
can't you haven't demonstrated that at
Okay.
all.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
like
All right.
how
Well,
are trans people
all right. Let me
destroying
embarrass you.
attack
Let
wait,
me embarrass
no
you.
no no no
Let
no
me
no
embarrass you.
no no answer my
I'm going to
fucking
answer that.
question.
I'm going to answer
How are
that.
trans people attacking freedom of speech or like the
All
right
right.
to bear arms?
I'm going to. I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that. Okay. Okay, how are they attacking free speech? You have trans people repeatedly saying openly, "You should support us. You should be pro us. We have the right to include ourselves into any bit of society we want." This is not just even anti-West. This is anti pure society. And I mean, why is gay adoption happening? Why are parents not allowed to say, "Hey, I don't want my kid to be taught this shit." Okay, so one of the things Trump supports is freedom of choice when it comes to schooling, whereas under Biden's wonderful rule, and Obama would have pushed this if he was in office for longer, they pushed that. parents had to consent to whatever schools were teaching them. And if there was a time, and this was most evident during the first Trump era, if you push back on this, if you were a teacher and you push back on this, you were shunned from the schools. Like you weren't allowed to say, "Hey, I really don't want my kids to be taught this trans shit." So Trump outlawing. So therefore, when the system is so corrupt and the policies are so blatantly terrible, you do need an authoritarian to take that away. Now,
Okay, so you're
hopefully, Trump.
pro-authoritarian, and you understand that like
All
the
right,
the, the
all right.
liberalism
Look,
of
I'm
the
not.
West is anti-authoritarian, right? That like the foundation of
Are you
America is going
serious?
against
Are
like the
you?
monarchy.
Wait. Are you saying that the left are anti-authoritarian?
I mean, with respect to rule of law and governance, and like, yeah, the actual like lawmakers that exist in Congress, yeah, not like
All right.
fucking Twitter
Okay.
randos.
All right. Why did Biden say publicly multiple times that he was going to use the full force of the American system to force people uh, to get COVID vax?
Did that actually go through?
Well, he tried to push it
Okay,
through.
so we tried to push it through, and then what happened?
It got challenged and it
And it
failed
got
again.
shot
But it
down.
would not
Okay,
have.
so is that authoritarian when someone proposes a policy, it goes through the system, and then it gets shot down? That's authoritarian to you?
Yeah,
Okay, you're
he tried
fucking
to push
retarded,
it
dog.
through.
Like you're literally retarded. Okay,
But
so you understand? So
okay,
when
all
Trump,
right.
so when a court tells Trump like, hey, you can't do this, and he doesn't, and he does it anyway, that's authoritarian. But like when the system
Yeah,
and the checks and balances work as intended,
okay.
that's
Okay.
authoritarian.
Maybe we'll actually find some common ground here. All governments are authoritarian. And I don't
No,
like that.
that's retarded.
Uh,
If all governments are authoritarian, then no governments are authoritarian.
okay. Well. Okay. Okay. The biggest system of authoritarianism, aside from outright communism, like Putin's regime, is socialism, which is what you support. So
I don't.
you're the
I'm not
biggest
a social.
proponent
I'm
of
an
it.
ardent capitalist. What the fuck? What did I?
Why do you want AOC as president and to deport people like me then? Huh?
Well, because I don't. Well, to answer the second part, I don't want traitors in my country. I think that my president takes an
AOC is
oath
not a
to
traitor.
defend my
Oh,
president
no,
takes
Mara is
an
not a
oath
traitor.
to defend the Constitution from enemies foreign and domestic. And you're pro-authoritarianism when it suits you, and so you're incompatible with my liberal society. Like you are an illiberal person, and you don't fit in here, and
Well,
so you don't belong
well,
here. I would rather
well.
have a
Okay,
hundred
you.
like hungry Peruvian dentists who are like pro America, pro freedom of speech than like any of you fucks.
Okay, well, look, I'm gonna. We're not getting anywhere in this. I've got more time, better things to do with my time. I'm just gonna block you and fuck off.
All right, Jesus Christ, uh, he's mad. Well, that went well. Yeah, dude, I just got blown the fuck out on so many easy layups that I just handed him like crazy. He just totally owned me on the border and foreign aid and authoritarianism being good when it's cool when I like it and damn. Which way do the trade winds blow over New Zealand? Like if we just hit. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Actually, never mind. Uh, well, luckily, true. Don't need a don't need a Department of Education when New Zealanders can totally blow me out like that and make me look foolish. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, no, secondhand cringe. I feel like the Pope right now. who died of secondhand cringe from being around JD Vance. Yeah, Peach. I mean, if you're a fan, I can send him a link to your server. He hasn't banned me or he hasn't blocked me yet, so can definitely send him your way. Or actually, he goes on the Rating Tomatoes panels, so you can find him there. Are you sure? I mean, listen, I'm happy to provide. I'm just that kind of guy. Oh no, Nathan. It's well, actually, funny story. I had mentioned in Peach's chat about this argument, which started a similar-ish argument in Peach's chat, which is hilarious. Uh, I am indeed a masochist. You know, it's fun. I just I feel like I'm perpetually in this state of like, what if I'm just like missing something? Like maybe one day it'll click. Maybe if I just keep beating my head against the wall, maybe I will understand where they're coming from. Yeah, sorry. Man. Also, wild in the news, Republicans are getting close to being done with their border bill, or not border bill, but budget bill, uh, which includes stopping Trump from being the Trump administration from being held accountable, for being held in contempt of court, for egregiously violating the separation of powers. Starts adding fees to asylum. Uh, it's currently free, and now we're going to charge $1,000 per person who wants to apply. Um, the Dems on the panel tried to propose an amendment to make it not okay to deport citizens, um, but Republicans shot that down. Yeah, it's $1,000 for asylum, $1,000 for people who enter under parole, $3,500 for people who sponsored unaccompanied children, and but yeah, you know the border bill itself costs $81 billion, and they're hoping these fees will help raise 77 billion to offset the cost. Yeah, no, I actually had Ivory, who argued with Steven over the weekend. He started asking me about birthright citizenship, and like what do we do if we're gonna deport the parents of a 2-year old who was born here? Like, well, they are a citizen. You can't just like deport a citizen. That'd be weird, especially if they're not a citizen anywhere else, because then you start getting into this weird area where you create stateless people, um, which is very not good. But yeah, he was like, well, I just saw this thing. Um, what else was in here? Tattoo of a soccer ball. Oh wow, this wasn't censored this morning. That's hilarious. Coyotes who get kids across the border charge upwards of 5,000 or so. Yeah, I think that's or I feel like I saw that on Channel 5. Andrew Callahan, he actually did like the coyote route. Like he went down to Texas or maybe he went to Mexico, and then like snuck across the border, for a video on YouTube. So that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I only watched the first half actually, but yeah, no, love Andrew. Love that he got more serious. I don't know. I love Andrew Callahan so much. He went to a furry convention Um, like thinking it was going to be a bunch of like deranged people, like I don't know the word for it, like not degenerate, but like like whatever. It's gonna be people who are like really trying to like like if they could, they would actually fuck an animal. Um, but no, he like got there and met a bunch of like weird autistic people, who are just trying to feel comfortable in their own skin and just were kind of expressing a part of themselves and had absolutely zero interest in fucking any animals. um, so yeah, he was like that was the hardest video like for him to do because he went down there with an intent of like gonna fuck around, and that video turned out way different. Yeah, no, furries are not terrible people. I have a friend who makes fursuits, and they're actually really talented at it, and yeah, I don't know, neat. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's hella money, but also hella time. Jesus, those things are not a joke to make. I mean, if you want like a good one. Um, oh yeah, the Reigns Act. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other part of the big beautiful bill they're trying to pass is it so basically in order to or it allows the executive to just delete any regulation that they don't like. Gives them a lot more wiggle room there, and then to add a new regulation, it requires congressional approval. Um, and like it gives Congress one vote to strike down any regulation that they don't like. And then it also opens up for the last like 6 months of Biden's terms, any regulations that he put up, it would allow them to vote on that also. All right, Peach, don't die. Too much Popeyes, I guess. Yeah, my phone shut off like a few weeks ago, and I legit thought that was it. Like I was out buying groceries, and I was like, "Oh, they're coming for me." That's it. We told too many people on Facebook that they should be deported. Fuck. But then I went home, and no one took me. Uh, so and then I kept. I mean, I went on my desktop to keep telling people to go get fucking deported, and I learned nothing. But if I disappear one day, you stop hearing from me. I got my passport and I moved to El Salvador willingly, for sure. Um, I was not deported. I'm trying to set up this like Epstein thing. I definitely would never do anything to myself in prison. Like, yeah, no, I definitely would never be deported. I'd probably just move to El Salvador. I hear it's beautiful, like year round. Um, and those people seem pretty cool. Yeah, be a good tattoo. Be great. Yeah, died of embarrassment. I'm still feeling it set in. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go to therapy after that one. If found by ICE, return to El Salvador. Hell yeah. That's God. I can't believe I took notes for that. What a fucking God. I don't hate white people, but the secret white nationalists, man, those people are wild. Oh, actually, that's I got into rip double rip. Got into a fascist server, which was hilarious because oh, double rip. Fuck 'em. Uh oh Jesus. Uh, sorry, hang on. I gotta figure out how to fucking Yes. Uh, yep. Nailed it. Yep. That's fine. Why is it doing both? Did I just break my stream? Jesus. Uh, this goes down more. Okay. Nailed it. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm in a fascist server. Those people are fucking wild. There's some dude in there who's insisting that like if you whatever he wants to offer the top 25% IQ wise of white women like $15,000 like per child, um, and then whatever a lot more like tax incentives and stuff. You know, just for smart white women to have more kids. And he just super duper believes that it works or that it will work. Yeah, strangely enough, the data doesn't pour out, or doesn't shake out that way. Uh, yeah, because yeah, you can't. I don't know. If a woman does not want to have kids, nothing can really convince her to have kids. That's just I don't know a thing that that is a new woo, bro. What if I want to be a dad, but my partner doesn't? You know, I could be smart enough. So it's the $15,000 per birth tax incentive, or no, sorry, 15,000 just grant for for each kid that a woman has. It's a 10% tax deduction. Man, I wish I could. Okay, actually, I can do this. Sorry, I'm trying to nailed it. Yeah, so only U.S. citizens, you know, IQ of 75th percentile or above, uh, can get $15,000 per kid, a monthly child rearing stipend of $1,000 until the kid reaches 10, permanent 10% federal income tax deduction per child, and a tax credit of $2,500 per child until the child is an adult. Um, yeah, until 10. So like $120,000 ish. And a lady who thought black people had enough children in the civil rights movement to become racial majority. I mean, you know, it's close. They're like 13%. If we only count the true whites, then we're probably there. But yeah, this doesn't only apply to smart women. It also can apply to um not smart women, but it's just less because you're not worth as much, or your kids aren't worth as much. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's so honestly, it's so cute and adorable that he has like a 4-page fucking like PDF of like, am I Irish or am I black? No, you are swarthy. Um, you know, not saying that you're black, you're just not white. Anyway, but yeah, no, he has a whole true. Kid wants to play golf. We're paying for it. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Shit's insane. The weirdest part about being in that fascist server was like I don't know. It took me like 20 minutes to figure out that they weren't kidding or they weren't being ironic. Because I like hopped in and everyone was talking about how much Trump sucked, and they were all on board for how much Trump sucks. Uh, and then I don't know, like the other liberal left, I guess, and then they started talking about different flavors of like fascism. You know, they're like, oh, like you know, phalangeal versus classical fascism. I'm like, excuse me, what? Like you sound like communists, but on the other side. But yeah, no, yeah, no. The most heartbreaking part was the only other guy on cam was this like part Asian dude. Who was talking about how Trump wasn't going far enough and how much he loves like Nick Fuentes and thinks Charlie Kirk is a cuck or something. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. He's just like laughing along with him, like, yeah, like I don't get to be part of the breeding program because I'm a mutt. It's like, bro, Jesus fucking Christ, like, ow, like, it hurts my soul. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. The kid's like 19, still in college, got time to grow out of it, uh, and hopefully he does. That would be good. Be good if he did. Whatever, whatever. He's 19. The kids should be acting a fool during that age. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely wasn't ugly. Like, I don't know. It's like a borderline like a Vol incel of like, well, I choose not to breed because I can't. Yeah, you by anyone's standard, going to college. I don't know, something computer science. I think, not entirely sure. But yeah, just like wow, we're it's bananas. They also very quickly labeled me a Fed in that server, which I thought was hilarious. They're just like when you get labeled a Fed, you're just locked out of like everything. Yes, he's gonna get infected with the woke mind virus. Indeed. Yeah, I'm gonna send Dean Withers like to his school, and then he'll catch it. He'll be he'll be calling Gaza a genocide in no time. But yeah, I got labeled a Fed, and then I had to like reach out to them. Well, I mean, I got labeled a Fed because I don't know, I got outed as a liberal, and they were talking about their fascist ideals and what they would do, and they're like, well, we can't say this in front of a liberal, and I'm like, bro, don't lump me in with the fucking non-binary communists. And they were like, okay, sold. Like, I don't know, that line always works on them for some reason. But yeah, then they started talking about, it's like, well, first we'll pay the immigrants to leave, and then maybe we'll have to do, take, maybe we'll have to escalate from there. And I'm like, bro, that's not even like wild. Um, it's like you're not just your standard issue like white nationalism. Like what is spicy here? I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know. Apparently, just being privy to that conversation labeled me as a Fed, which I understand. It kind of sounds like I'm goading him on to say more, which like he did, and it still was not spicy at all. Uh, yeah. Wow. True. Hey, I'm a third generation alcoholic. Okay. I like my spicy liquors. But yeah, I'm slowly uh infecting the fascist Discord regime, of which there are many. I'm getting more. Yeah, yeah. No, this is the same server with the Asian dude who's like, I shouldn't breed because I'm a mutt. Uh, yeah, that's the server I got labeled a Fed in. It was actually after that conversation. There are plenty of other white liberal women, in there who disagree with him heavily, and I don't know, like they're. It sounds weird to say, but they are, you know, they are humans. But yeah, I mean, it is a debate server, and they weathered the storm of just like the army of liberals. Well, yeah, obviously, I really appreciate that they want to eliminate all sexual harassment from the workplace by banning all women from the workplace. So, you know, they will fix that problem. Right? Makeup is like lying, and we all know how much these fuckers hate lying. Yeah, no tank tops. Everyone's gonna be wearing a bra at all times. Nothing but boy shorts. No more bikinis or whatever the fuck else you people wear. No shoulders. We're removing shoulders. If you have shoulders as a woman, they gotta go. Yeah, I agree. Breasts are distracting, but the fact that there are two of them kind of go to prove that I can focus on two things at once, which is nice for me. To work with the men, you must look like one. Yeah, it's actually another random story. Um, yep. That's how you spell that. Fuck. Forgot his goddamn name. Their goddamn name. I will find this article. But yeah, there's a surgeon, the first surgeon to, um, or the first European surgeon. Yeah, okay, I was right. Fucking James Barry. Never, never doubt myself again. But yeah, there's this person back in the time of you know late 17, early 1800s, um, who I don't know, was born a female, and then I don't know. There's disagreement on whether they're intersex or not or trans or whatever. But it was during the time where like you couldn't have a real job if you were a woman, so they dressed as a man, expressed himself as male, and joined the Navy and became a surgeon. And yeah, became the first European to perform the first recorded cesarean section by a European, where both the mother and child survived, which is I don't know, that's a cool thing. Although now that I'm reading the sentence again, this is like when they do sports stats. They're like, oh, this is he's third now for the most most receptions in the middle of spring, while facing a team of warm colors on their jerseys. But whatever. Yeah, first European to do a C-section, a couple hundred years ago, which is neat. And yeah, and then they died, and they were doing an autopsy, and we're like, "Where's the dick?" And they couldn't find it, and they were surprised. The fuck's an Ovechkin? Oh, yeah, sports. I know about those. Yes, the Doctor's Guinness Book of World Records would be really cool. You put that guy in there from China who CRISPRed anti-AIDS babies. This is my favorite article about that fucking the Republican border bill. It's just at the bottom of the site itself. It's just like unfair left leaning. I'm like, bro, you fact checking yourself and like leaning. Like what? It's I think he's in jail. Damn, that was only in 2019. Fuck, I thought that was way later. Hey, Jiankui. Yeah, no, he's posting on X like a week ago. Not even in jail. The fuck? Investigation, warrant, aftermath. after the incident. All right. We wanted. Oh, he's in Hong Kong. Oh no, entry permit. Wuchang University Technology, proud undergraduate work. He's active on X. Mostly about his research. Criminal investigation. Is he in jail? What the fuck? Maybe he hasn't gone to jail yet. I don't know. True. Yeah. Time. Time since COVID's been strange. Okay, he got 3 years in December of 2019. So, yeah. Okay. So he did go to jail for a couple years, and he's out. Which I guess, I don't know. Not like he killed anyone, I guess. I mean, obviously, we should lock up people who do illegal medicine. It's probably good. But now he's out, free to do it again. Well, actually, I think I don't know if there were. I actually think there weren't any. Or no. Someone had already met to set a limit on like how long, like you are allowed to do CRISPR on human embryos. They just can't. You can't keep them longer than like 2 weeks. I think is the rule currently, or at least it was a few years ago. CRISPR spell a federal ban based. Welcome. Global Gene Editing Regulation Tracker. Let's go. Okay. Federal law prohibits the use of federal funds for research on human germline gene therapy. Law regulation. So if someone wanted to sell the therapy in the U.S., they would need FDA approval for clinical studies and marketing. No proposals have been submitted. Okay, yeah. After Chinese scientists alter the DNA of human embryos, they're carried to term. Multiple American researchers joined an international call in 2019 for a global moratorium on all clinical uses of germline editing. Separately, over 60 scientists, ethicists, and biotechnology leaders sent a letter supporting a moratorium to the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. However, other scientists and ethicists object to a moratorium, arguing that it might impede research on or use of germline gene editing indefinitely, because moratoriums and temporary bans tend to be difficult to change. Well, that's lame. And cringe. Yeah, no, he fucked it up. Oh, okay. There are. Creation and destruction of human embryos, group of scientists, examination. Not fun. Okay. Okay. Well, what is this amendment? Right, yeah, it's like, okay, what if we could create a brainless human that we can just harvest organs from, like we do with animals and stuff for food? What if we could just farm humans? But non-conscious humans, of course, not people. Farming people would be weird. That's cringe. It was. Oh, yeah. Was it Clinton? Was fucking Clinton in office? Well, if it doesn't have a brain, it would still be human because it's like I don't know, got human DNA and human Hox genes. Um, but yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a person, you know, in the same way that like someone who's gone through like brain death, like we don't keep all those people on ventilators and stuff, to just keep them alive because they're doing stuff. But yeah, I mean, in theory, if you could grow a human without a brain, it'd be weird. Under under consistent moral principles of pro-choice people, you'd have to bite that bullet, I think. Yeah. Well, I feel like it's less what defines human and more what defines like a part of a moral group, like who deserves moral consideration. Because yeah, I mean, like even a dead person is still a human. But yeah, I mean, like whatever. You're 99% chimp, but you only share half of your DNA with your siblings, which is weird. But yeah, it's the personhood thing. You're just I don't know, grow unbrained humans, lab grown humans. You've heard of this thing, this lab grown meat? Well, I got something to show you. You can identify as almost rat, but you know, we don't do self ID here. True IVF baby. They're not real people. Wow. Does y'all's YouTube do that too? Wow, that's actually a topic. Don't don't be loud. Stop it. Dating apps and social media create incels. It's probably true. Dating apps probably do create incels for sure, 1000%. Dating apps, yeah, for sure. See you, bud. Yeah. All right then. Yeah, I'm gonna go play video games. Well, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe the next one will be more substantial. I have high hopes. Might be might be dragging people from the fascist server at some point. That'd be fun. But fucking YOLO. All right. Have a good night. Take care, y'all.